Okay, you guys, so you are back with Amanda, the skincare badass. Today we're gonna dive a little bit into laser hair removal. So laser hair removal, it's been around for a while. There's a lot of misconceptions about it. It's really, really safe. Let me just start by that. It is extremely safe for everybody. There's always a caveat though, right? So depending on the laser, depending on the light therapy, depending on the technician, blah, 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 right? So laser hair removal is great for everybody. It is not good for white hair. It is not good for gray hair, and it is not great for red hair. So, and here's the reason why. Most of the time with most lasers, and there's lots of different technology on the markets, you guys, and I am not the master of every technology on the market for laser hair removal. Let me give you that caveat right there. Typically with white, gray, it's the same as with red. You're probably like, what the hell does red and gray have to do with each other, right? The laser can't see it, right? So I don't have any hair on my arms right now because I've been doing laser treatments on them, but you wanna have pretty freshly clean shaven skin, right? Because what happens is the laser is gonna look for the hair underneath the skin, and then it's gonna try to destroy the follicle. That's how it works for the most part. There's different types of light-based therapies that can do that. There's ND-YAG lasers, there's IPL lasers, there's diode lasers, there's alexandrite lasers. There's a lot. When you go somewhere and you wanna get laser hair removal, I'm just gonna break down a couple of the questions you gotta ask, because I'm not gonna get into technology because it'll get boring, blah, 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 right? So here's a couple of things you need to ask. How many sessions do I need? If they tell you you need any more than 8 to 10, fucking run. I don't care what laser they have, fucking run. I can't tell you how many people we get that are like, oh, I've been getting laser on my face every month for the past 2 years. And I'm like, what's going on here? No. 2, how much is it gonna cost? They should be able to tell you right up front. If they're like, oh, well, it's gonna depend, Like, it depends on the area, but if you say, I want my Brazilian done, or I want my underarms done, or I just want my upper lip done, or for a man, I want my full back done, they should be able to have a price for you right then and there. If they have to send you home and email you a quote, bullshit, run. What does the pre and post care look like? If they tell you it's totally fine to do it year round, which it is, but you have to make sure you avoid the sun. You cannot go get laser hair removal on your full legs and then go out the next day to the beach for the whole day. Not gonna happen. You're gonna damage your skin, and bad. You're gonna burn. So you wanna know a couple of those questions. So a couple other things I wanted to give you guys a little tidbit about. When you're getting laser hair removal, you have to do them in a series, always. If they're like, oh, you just pay as you go, or just, we'll kind of see how it goes. Bullshit, it's always a series. Usually 6 treatments can get you. Typically, if you have darker skin, it's a little bit harder for the laser to find that hair follicle. So you might need 8 treatments, possibly even 10. Based on the thickness of the hair, how much hair, all that kind of stuff. But usually 6 to 8 is pretty much like that gold standard, right? So within that 6 to 8 treatments, you're gonna come within a certain time block every single time. So usually when you're doing like your face, or like for a man's neck, it's around every 4 weeks. You can start to push it to 6 weeks towards the end of the series if that hair starts growing a little bit slower because it's being damaged over and over from the laser, right? Usually for legs and for back, you're looking at like 8 weeks, sometimes to 10 weeks based on the hair growth cycle. But that's it. If they start telling you you have to come in every single month for your back or for your lower legs, and it's gonna be 20 treatments or it's gonna be a full year's worth of treatments, fucking run. They need to be a licensed esthetician or beyond. They should not be somebody that does not have any qualifications. Ask them about their laser school. Ask them about sun exposure, and make sure to ask them what could happen. Read through your paperwork thoroughly. I cannot tell you how many times people have come to me because they got burned somewhere else and they're like, I had no idea. It probably said it in the paperwork. I will say most med spas, most places that have lasers, they're pretty good with their paperwork. So you just gotta make sure that you're doing your due diligence and you're reading it. Go over it with your technician. Sit there and say, can you go over everything with me? And I wanna make sure I'm well aware of what could happen and how I can avoid those things from happening. But for the most part, laser hair removal is very safe. There are so many different types of technologies on the market. Some are safer than others. Typically, if you are super darker skin, a YAG laser is gonna be best. You want something that's gonna not go after necessarily the pigment, but go after different ways. So I'm not gonna talk to you guys about all the different technologies because like I said, there's a ton and that'll get super boring. But I do wanna talk to you guys, or I did just wanna tell you guys that laser hair removal is very safe. It has been around for over 20 years now. There's lots of different technologies. Do your due diligence, ask the right questions. And if you guys have additional questions or you're kind of freaked out, feel free to reach out to me or anybody at Purity Skin Studio. We would love to help you guys make the best decision for your hair removal needs. Stay tuned, guys, for more content coming up on lasers. I've got some really cool stuff coming up. Hit subscribe and I'll see you next time.